Yes, everybody, what is going on? This is the Patreon pod that I recorded on Friday, and it was mates, if you're watching. And this is why I'm now doing it at midnight on Monday before I fly to Bahrain in about 6 hours. So, we had a fucking right old giggle with recording this the first time round. Hopefully, we get the same sort of energy this time around. I have been up for just about 18 hours for now, and it will be a pretty much full 24 by the time it rolls round to us flying. So you're probably not going to get the same energy, but let's fucking do this shit. I know that is a banger of a question coming up later from Ant, so I can't wait to get into that one. Bozzy says, number one choice of a Pogba replacement. I don't think you go like for like with Pogba with one person. I think you've got to go with multiple players, and I would even argue about changing the whole system of what we're doing. But if I just had to go magic one time, I would probably bring in something like Milinkovic-Savic and Ruben Neves, or something in that kind of ilk. Maybe go really combative with your midfield. You could go Ndidi and Milinkovic-Savic, but I think I'd like to have someone with a bit more quality on the ball, and I like Neves, so I'd probably go with something along those lines. Clements, when we sell/freeze out our midfield, here we go. Which two centre midfielders would I get in January? We'll just roll with what we just said. Assuming we're getting Sancho and Maddison, that's a fucking enormous assumption. I'd probably still say the same thing. I would go with Milinkovic-Savic and Neves, because you could rotate them three probably with Fred and with McMayonnaise. And still play a number 10 in Maddison if you need to. And then you just have quality right throughout the middle of midfield, wouldn't you? Which, imagine that. What was my job in the army and on tours? Some things, it's like, I'm not going to completely divulge, but it's not because I wasn't special forces or anything along those lines, so don't get excited. I just don't really want to talk about it on a YouTube video, if that's all right with everybody. In the future, if the squad was right, would I be up for a Jose return? Fuck no, mate. Why? Why would I do that? And also to the next question from Inferno, fucking why? Why? Abraham, should Greenwood be loaned out in the January window? Why? If Timo Werner is signed, why? It's not like we've got a million forwards, is it? We didn't replace the ones we had in the summer. There's still room for him. I think he probably should get more minutes, but no, don't loan him out. Where are you going to loan him out to? Loans are a fucking nightmare, man. You go out on loan, this guy's the manager, he wants you, he's seen you playing in a certain way in his head, and then he gets sacked 3 weeks later because that's the fucking nature of football anymore, and he's like, I don't want this kid, fuck him off. Nightmare. Any plans to do a vid with Brendan and that crazy Scouser anytime soon? His conspiracies were brilliant. Brendan's forgot that he lives in Manchester and he's just fucking absolutely stone cold chilling out in San Diego at the moment. He was meant to have been back last week. He's not back. I don't know what the fuck's going on. The crazy Scouser is actually in Bahrain, and I will be seeing him in a couple of days. Dean Garnett is called. He was meant to fight on Friday night, but he got headbutted in sparring last week. Why he was sparring last week, I don't know, but he's broke his jaw down the centre and up the side. Nightmare. Connor Mack. Does Fosu Mensah still have a future at United, or will he be moved on? I think his injury might have saved his United career, to be honest. I do think his injury might have saved his United career. He's got the opportunity to have... his rehab looks good, and I spoke to someone at the club last week on Thursday, and they said he will be back in 6 weeks. Now, whether that means back in training properly in 6 weeks, or whether that means back playing either for the 23s or the first team in 6 weeks, I guess we'll just have to wait to see. Ronan, any plans to do internships again this summer? We're actually doing internships kind of like right now. I haven't really set like a proper start and end date, but we are looking at bringing a load more interns as Paddock has suffered a little bit lately because all of the ones that we had in the summer have gone back to university and are either available on the same days or have moved away to go to university and can't get on as often as they could. So everybody that we had in the summer, that great momentum that we had has slipped a little bit, even though I think we found our feet and I think we've got all of the right sorts. I do need a little bit more cover. Like, for instance, Tuesday, tomorrow, there's probably just Ryan in. And normally we do a podcast on a Tuesday, but there's not enough people to do a podcast when it's Ryan on his own. So, yes, there will be internships. Probably just looking mainly at journalism internships. But with what we've got coming with Stretford Paddock FC, that will be a whole team on its own. So there's definitely opportunities for socials, for cameras, for everything, really. Editors, the lot. Like, we've got some fucking belting ideas for what we want to do with Paddock FC. And I don't think you lot are ready for how fucking big we hope this could be. We're going to go absolutely balls to the wall. This will not be shit Sunday League level. This will hopefully be, I mean, we don't know where we're going to end up. Obviously, you can't just fucking predict where it's going to end up, but we're going all in, full in on this one. How many cards will we pick up if we have Bay, Rojo, and Williams in our defence? None, because no one would run at us. Ashley Young steals a living. The top 3 sports you hate the most. Now, this one, when we recorded it on Friday, we had Alex in here, who loves fucking golf. So I absolutely fucking hammered golf, because how's golf a fucking sport? I mean, honestly, it's just fucking utter knobheads, isn't it? I panned Formula 1 because Formula 1's got its own fucking channel and there's like one guy in the UK that fucking does it. What sort of disproportionate representation bullshit is that? Where's the fucking rugby league channel? Where's the fucking MMA channel? And the other sport that I panned was fucking rugby union. The fucking arrogance of them to call the Rugby World Cup. No, it's the Rugby Union World Cup. You fucking arrogant wankers. Public schools, mummies, boys, southern tossers. Fuck. I fucking hate rugby union with a fucking passion. I tuned in for the All Blacks against England for that fucking Rugby Union World Cup semi-final that was on. It was on BBC, was it? Or ITV, whatever the fuck it was on. I tuned in, and obviously I played International Rugby League, right? And I wasn't good enough to play it open age. I played it academy level, under 19s. So I know what good technical fucking ball handling and stuff looks like. I turned it on, and an England player took a ball flat from another guy who was standing fucking still, and he took it and did like a bit of a no-look fucking pass to someone to his left, which just hit the floor. And one of the commentators went, "This is the highest level of rugby union on display at the moment." And I went, fuck off. Why is rugby league better than rugby union? Because the collisions are better. Because it's a faster game. Now, I would put in, like, I didn't take it in. I wasn't a try scorer. I was a fucking pure N'Golo Kante. I was just work rate and tackle machine. That was all I did. I tackled heavier than what I weighed at the time. I couldn't fucking get over 11 stone. Absolutely pissed that now. But I tackled heavy for my size, and I put in a fucking unbelievable shift. Work rate. Never be out fucking worked. Always. Now, I would put in 45 tackles a game. Not a problem. For those who don't know, rugby league's in sets of 6. I have, on multiple occasions, done every tackle in a set of 6 before. That's graft. And honestly, you feel like you need oxygen after that. That is an absolute fucking... It's not just the speed of the game. The speed of the game is because you're going back and forward. It's like doing a fucking bleep test and someone throwing you a ball and trying to wrestle you halfway through it at the same time. It's absolutely brutal. If I play a full game of rugby league... Now I'd probably die, but when I used to be fit and play a full game of rugby league, I would need to sleep afterwards. Like, just completely shut down and have like a 4-hour nap, get up a few hours later, eat, and then I'd go back to bed normal and not like be up all night with insomnia because I've just fucking woke up. Rugby league, you're putting out like 5, 6, 7,000 calories in a game of rugby league. I saw a stat from the Rugby Union World Cup that as a team... As a fucking team, Ireland had a brilliant defensive display and they made 43 tackles as a team. Now, on the same day, there was an England, I think it was an under-21s or under-18s international rugby league game, and one young man in 59 minutes made 73 tackles on his own. the entire team in a fucking 80-minute match in rugby union made only 43 tackles. And the clock never stops running. The clock's going. Here's what happens. Like, they kick for position. One fullback catches it, fucking hoofs it 60 yard. The other fucker catches it, runs forward 10 yard, and then fucking hoofs it 50 yard. What are the rest of them doing, right? They're just standing there looking at it like that, watching it go over their heads. Fuck rugby union. Honestly, fuck rugby union. And I know we've probably got loads of Aussies in here that love it. I know we've got a few Kiwis in here that probably love it. Loads of Irish in here which are probably fucking fuming at the moment. But you know what? Ireland have got a decent rugby league team. Fucking get behind that because it's a proper fucking sport. I believe it's different in Ireland, and that rugby union isn't a fucking posh Tory fucking sport. But that's exactly what it is in England. There's a brilliant article in The Economist the other day which says it's more diverse, the England rugby union team, than ever before, which means that they got a couple of brothers in the fucking team. But it's posher than ever. And something along the lines of like fucking all but one of the fucking players in the team went to a private school. And some of these private schools are 45 grand a year to send your kid to. It's a fucking public school tosspot sport in England. It might be different where you're from, but from my perspective in England, fuck rugby union. Just to make that clear, I don't fucking like rugby union. Any more information on the Dublin meetup? Not just yet. We've got to box off the Manchester one, which we've now absolutely obliterated. We're at 974 as I record this. Fucking killed that shit. Cruising in on our highest ever, which is 860, which I think we got some point during the summer, like May I think. So we are going for an absolute fucking smashetto of our best ever. As soon as we get this Manchester one out of the way, we will do the Dublin one. I am looking at the last weekend in February. I think it's the 28th or 27th into 28th. Rings a bell, actually. Let me just have a double check. December, January, February. No, 28th into the 29th. So if you're about, if you fancy it, that's the one that we're probably looking at doing. I've been asked if I want to stick around and do the MMA. Was it MMA Expo in Cork? I'm going to make a decision a bit closer to the time. I might do it. They've got some unbelievable guests, but United are playing Everton. So whether I stay and go and do that and send the rest of the lads back, I don't know. Which value of mitts is greater, height or girth? Girth, definitely. Brian, super wishful thinking here, but I theorised last season that the reason for all the contract renewals was to bump up the price if the Glazers were looking to sell. Did I do that? That was me being proper outside the box fucking thinking, wasn't it? And it looks like it might have some legs in it. By that logic, they can't spend a fuck ton in January to raise the price even higher for the Saudis. I think they can spend a fuck ton in the January window anyway, because they put it on the fucking Never Never. They ain't paying for that shit, so fucking crack on. If you was in charge of a business that some other fucker was paying for, and you had the keys to the kingdom for a minute, and you were just like, yeah, fucking Ferraris everywhere for everyone. Get it done. Nebby, look at Matthias Sammer or Max Eberl as a director of football. Why aren't their names being linked with us? I don't know. Maybe because they're serious fucking directors of football and we don't actually want a director of football that's serious. Maybe that's why we're holding out on everything, because everyone they've approached was like, hey, do you fancy being the fall guy for us? And everyone's like, no. So maybe that's why. Gordon says, great warm down with Roy Kavanagh. Thank you. Great to listen to someone with so much expansive knowledge of United right to the modern day. With that in mind, who's been my favourite non-player guest, either a writer or a journal that you've had on, and who's top of that list to interview next? I'd love Andy Mitten on. I think Andy would be good. Writer or journal favourite? I don't know, to be honest. I like Simon Wadsworth. I always have a good natter with Simon when he comes down, and Simon's always bang up for whatever. Tough to say that. Out of everyone, I mean, Evra aside, Cantona, even though it wasn't on this channel, fucking hell, that was sensational. But I love Stepney, me. I think Stepney's fucking absolutely mint. Blake, if a sale were to occur, when do I think it'd happen? Throw a fucking dart on the calendar, mate. No idea. How likely are we to sign either Haaland or Werner in January? And which of the two would suit us the better? I like both, and I think both would probably fine with us. I'd be really interested. If we went for Haaland, then that's because Ollie obviously knows the guy and knows how he would go. I think going for Haaland in January would be a smart move, because I think was it 36 fucking goals or something he scored in November? You get to May after scoring 36 goals and people are like, what a fucking player you are. You do it in November. I don't give a fuck if you was playing fucking Sunday League or in the fucking one-legged league. That's still out fucking outrageous amount of goals. 6 hat-tricks. Come on, man. Some of our players don't even have 3 fucking shots a game. Forwards, that is. Fuck. I would go for him in January, because if you delay, and if you want him, get him in Jan. Fuck everything else. Just go get him in Jan. If he wants to come, he's coming in Jan, regardless, right? So get him in fucking Jan and see what you can do, and embed him in properly for next season. Have a fucking really good tear up at it. Because if you get him in the summer, after he's probably scored, I mean, you could say 70 goals, couldn't you? What if the little fucker scores 70 goals? He's only played... Well, he's played like fucking 14, 15 games, hasn't he? 18 games, is it? Right? So quite conceivably, he's probably got 2/3 of the season to go. He might score 100 goals if he carries on the way he's going. Now, you would assume as the meaty end of the season gets going, it's going to be harder games technically, but fuck, is it? What if his confidence grows? If it's 100 goals he scores, you might as well just fucking say that's how many million you're going to have to pay for the little bastard. So you go and get him now, maybe you get him for 50 or 60 or 70. That's 3 figures come the end of the season, and that's a lot of scratch. Sean Wright, what do I make of genuine boxers like Billy Joe Saunders having to be on the undercard of Logan Paul and KSI? Is this the way I see pay-per-view going, or is it a one-off? I think it's probably a one-off, because no one's really as fucking famous as those two guys are. I don't want to look yesterday. Obviously, the fights all happened now. But when you look at Sky Sports Boxing, their biggest videos like ever all happened this weekend. So that just tells you the monstrosity that this is. I'd be very interested to see what the genuine pay-per-view numbers are versus how many people actually watch the pay-per-view, because the audience of these two lads is not a mature audience with its own money. These are probably teenagers for the most part. So teenagers for the most part, they know how to get a fucking stream for free, don't they? So it'd be very interesting to see how many paid for this and how many watched it and didn't fucking pay for it. But either way, they've made on a fucking right wedge. So fair fucks to them. What can you say? Look, sport, I'm conflicted, right? Because for me, sport is about the absolute zenith of fucking humanity. Who is the fucking best? Who is the hardest man on the planet? And the fact that these two guys are famous, why not get David Beckham to fight Brad Pitt? That'd be a good fight, wouldn't it? Like, what are you doing? But these two guys have just totally changed up the game because they are fucking double famous guys. They got 20 million subscribers each. Insane. So, of course, it was going to do numbers no matter what they do. I mean, KSI is going to do anything he wants. He's brought a rap video out. He's been in fucking films. Like, the Sidemen play football and fill stadiums. It's insane. But you've got to fucking appreciate it for what it is. And just say, well, they've built a platform. People like them. What can you do? Kieran, great content on Stretford Paddock. Thank you. We got more stuff planned. Better stuff planned. So wait and see. With the greater content of Paddock, do I believe it won't take long till it overtakes FTD and that other channel? Look, subscriber numbers, they come in all shapes and sizes. And I don't necessarily think that subscriber numbers is the true metric to be measuring anything by. At all. I really don't. Now, I'm not even 100% sure looking at what people are doing per video means anything. A lot of your watch-along views, they're vanity numbers. They're not subscribed to you. And they fucking stick around for 2 seconds, realise it's not the game, and they fuck off. I'd rather make content that I'm proud of They'd be looking at numbers. Numbers isn't everything. Immature people measure things by purely numbers. Evidently, going back to Logan Paul and KSI, there was a weight of a cultural shift of people wanting to see those. And Arsenal Fan TV became a cultural thing where the players and even I think the manager might have even addressed them at some point in press conferences. It did become a cultural thing. But have they made any content that they're proud of? I've done videos where I've walked out of it. Howard Gale being a great example, when I know for a fact, I said it as I left, as Howard left the building. I said, I really fucking enjoyed that conversation. And I really appreciate and enjoy a lot of the comments that I read on the back of that conversation, where I said, this isn't going to do numbers, and I paid Howard for his time. I wouldn't have fucking, if I was just like a ruthless fucking business person, I wouldn't have fucking interviewed Howard. I'd have done a transfer video. But I want to make content that stands up, and I want to make content that you guys can listen to next year after, and it'd be relevant. Now, yeah, I do have to do transfer videos, and sometimes I like to do transfer videos to sort of speculate and look at options of what's coming forward. But I'd like to do it from an analytical point of view, not just because it's in the fucking Red Tops. And speaking of the Red Tops, if you value everything by the numbers, then the Sun is the biggest newspaper in Great Britain. And what does everyone think about the Sun? Would you rather say that you were part of the Sun, or that you were part of the Telegraph or the Guardian or one of the Times, something fucking genuine, or the Athletic? The Athletic are doing absolutely fantastic work at the moment. They've hired good people, and they're allowing good people to go and find good stories and giving them time to make those things look good and read good. Obviously, Paddock's mine. And what happens on Full-Time Devils isn't in my control. They ask me to do a certain amount of videos, and I do those videos. With Paddock, I get the freedom. But not is it just the freedom. I have a fucking really good group of lads here that have got their own brains and their own ideas, and a lot of the content that you see on there isn't my idea. Comment Club wasn't my idea. And it wasn't necessarily my idea to steer it in the direction that it became, because it was a different thing for the first couple of videos. It may have changed direction because of how I am on those videos, but ultimately, Comment Club has taken on the personality of the staff that work in here. And the editor, Adam, who edits it. Comment Club is its own thing. And it's fucking great. The Brew is its own thing, and I really enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Coming up with original content's fucking graft. And a lot of what we're going to do with Paddock FC will be original. The schedule I'm kind of looking at here, it's different to what you've probably seen other channels do. A lot of channels, and I've watched so much YouTube football recently. And can you guys let me know, is there anyone in Manchester doing it? Because I can't find anyone. There might be a channel with like 5 subscribers or something. I actually can't find any YouTube football teams from Manchester. Can anyone help me find them? So what we're thinking of doing for the Paddock FC week, and this won't go on the regular Paddock channel, there'll probably be a new channel, and this will all probably start to properly happen come summer. For now, you're probably only going to get like one video a month out of them until summer, until the 11-a-side stuff starts. It'll be like a roundup sort of video, very fast edit, that goes out on Paddock and possibly highlights on my channel for now. But once we kick in with the 11-a-side stuff, and we're trying to find a really good looking venue as well, like a stadium, a little stadium, non-league level stadium that we can use. So we would have, on Saturday, let's say we kick off at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, after the game, get a couple of players and the coach maybe, sit down in here and do a review, post-match review. Slag a teammate off, say what went right, what went wrong, all that sort of stuff. That'll go out like a podcast, the usual sort of roundtable kind of podcast. No highlights or anything like that, and it's just a straight podcast. That's your Saturday content sorted. And then Monday, so it's like 2.5 days worth of editing, because there's a lot of editing going. I think hashtag take like up to 2 weeks for theirs, week and a half at least. I don't know how long Palmer's took to do theirs when it was more heavily edited. It's a bit lighter in terms of the edit now. I don't know how long any of these guys are taking to do their edit, but for me, the edit turnaround has to be very quick. It has to be very quick, otherwise there's no point in doing this for me. Especially when you're playing published fixtures. So Monday, I would like to get the match day video out. And to me, the match day video isn't, I mean, please comment on this and let me know your thoughts. But for me, the match day video isn't about the football as much as it's about the story of the football, the personality clashes, the who forgot the fucking boots, the arguments and conflict people have around the touchline. Yes, you want to see the football. Yes, you want to see the goals. But it's below that, isn't it? It's the human interactions, the conversations on the sideline, the shit around it, the travel to, the halftime, the team talk. All of that is what I personally like to see. And we've got a fucking great, and I mean great, commentator in that's going to give it some life as well. Wednesday, we want to put training videos out, but that are going to be informative and teach you some stuff. And then Friday will be something just carnage. Top 5 fucking red cards we've had this season. Teammates. Penalty challenge, free kick challenge, that sort of shit. So that's 4 videos a week that'll be coming out on Paddock FC once it starts being an 11-a-side thing, if everything goes to plan. So it's, what, we're in November? You're looking at probably 8-9 months away for us doing that. But this is the planning level that we're up to at the moment. That's what I want to do. And obviously we've set quite a high goal, 3,000 Patreons before we enter a league. We might do it. We will see. Sam, what is my ideal sandwich? Steak and caramelized onion. Who would win in an arm wrestle? Adam McCullough or Gaz? Adam, because Gaz is a pacifist and probably weighs about 9 stone. What do I reckon is a long-term plan with Dean Henderson? Says Juho. Probably outperforming De Gea so far, but De Gea has a new contract and he'll want a permanent move if De Gea is around. Think he'll probably get moved on. But we got, Pereira. Kovar looks good. Unfortunately, being a goalkeeper, there's not much rotation happens, is there? So you're either first or it ain't your fucking club, mate. An Arabic name, like there's so many of in here now because... everyone's getting excited for the Saudis. If you get out of the shower clean, how does your towel get dirty? Because you might get out of the shower clean, but the cleaning process is not done by just getting in the shower. The drying is an important phase of the cleaning process, and getting dry involves drying and shedding like quite a lot of your fucking dead skin cells off you. So those towels end up dirty because they're covered in minging dead skin. Brian, for the Irish podcast, you want to get robbed by the whole town, forming a mob and breaking your entire building down with a digger. If that, don't go to Teller. Okay, noted. 179 Nim. Do I feel some of the injured players are actually fit but being phased out? Like Matic and Shaw? Maybe. Matthew, fuck's sake. Will I rather be stuck in a cave for 20 years with aliens that were incredibly aroused by me but viciously aggressive in lovemaking? Or a 6-foot bat from Glasgow smokes John players and only drinks urine diluted brandy? His only topic of conversations is about how his wife murdered his son and his suicide attempts, whereas the aliens talk about the increased rents on the east coast of Ireland. Aliens. I'd rather meet an alien. Now, they might be aggressive in lovemaking and aroused by me, but no means no. And they're not going to bum me. Ronan, do I think Stretford Paddock jerseys will be out before the Dublin meet-up? Also, what part of Dublin I think we're going for? We are looking at the Smock Alley Theatre, even. That looks like it might be the favourite spot. We are waiting and finding out on how much that's going to be and all the crackaroony with the location and everything. Paddock jerseys, if everything goes to plan, will be out early January. Got another meeting with Umbro on the 10th of December, when hopefully we will get the official go, no go. The hold-up is sharp, to be honest. I'm half tempted to just fucking roll with it, because if you see how many fan jerseys have been created with sharp on them, but I would rather have permission and know it's done correctly, because if they decide to fuck us, they could fuck us hard and long with no lube. Dean, other than what I do on YouTube, what are the other things I'm into and who do I subscribe to on YouTube? I subscribe to loads on YouTube, actually. But I probably watch... If you was like looking at my history on it, I mean, apart from last week where it was just purely YouTube football, I would say most of the stuff I watch is Comedy Central, Joe Rogan. Been watching quite a lot of fitness type stuff on there lately as well. Powerlifting, Westside Barbell, that kind of shit. Yeah, most of that. Dean, what's happened to Abdul? Why don't we see him anymore? He's fucking hibernating. I saw him at the match the other day. But yeah, I don't see much of him. Ali, did I find out why we wore blue in the 68 final? I did not. Had we definitely not worn those clothes before the final? One of my personal favourite tops, by the way. No. I think I asked Stepney about it and he didn't know. Ever find out why Mike Phelan was missing in action for a while? I did not. D. Bonza, why does McCullough pause throughout sentences? Probably the weed. Sam, do I feel the recent run of form apart from Bournemouth was due to Mike Phelan being back on the bench? No, it was probably more down to Tony Marshall being back in and a little bit more quality in the side. Do United need a replacement McTominay eventually, or will he be a key man in United's midfield for years to come? I think he can do that water carrier job quite well. I don't think he can be, certainly not Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, but maybe the Nicky Butt kind of character. Is Luke Shaw dead? I don't think so. Young Tizzle, do I think Matic will be gone in January? Absolute waste of 40 million in hindsight. Feels like it, doesn't it? It does feel like it. Ahmed, when realistic will we have a good midfield with quality and depth? When the Saudis come, probably. Spunk Knuckle, assuming Pogba can't stay injured until next summer, is it possible he could go in January? I think it is possible he can go in January, yeah. If he's just been an absolute widge, and I don't know for definite that he is, I suspect he is, though. He might be rigging him up to go in January, which I'm not mega asked about if we bring in replacements, but do we honestly believe we'll bring in replacements? Altolio, when do I think Fosu Mensah will get a go in the first team? Let him get back. I reckon he probably needs to play about 4 or 5 games in the 23s and impress, and who knows. And then GMCG8 says, where do I think Fosu Mensah will get his chance? Right back, right over free, defensive mid, or centre mid? I think he could do the Kanté-style job for us. Short term, for sure. Yes, I think there's a ratter in him. Yeah, I do. Christian, is Angel a lost cause now? Or is there a chance he will stay? These negotiations have gone on for so long, and he started once, so I feel like his heart is no longer in United at this point. I think the ultimatum thing's probably legit. So I imagine if he's playing hardball and the club are playing hardball, they might get fucking bored of each other. Yeah, I do fear the worst, to be honest, that he probably won't end up being here. And he'll probably go and impress a lot somewhere because he's very good. Especially with his mate being Jadon Sancho, he might have been like, I'm going to do exactly what he did, run my contract down and go and play in Germany and be worth 100 fucking million in about 6 months. Will it ever come out what happened with Callum Gribbin? I'm glad you asked it like that and didn't just say what happened with Callum Gribbin. I think if he falls out of the game properly, yes. If he stays in the game, maybe not. The Chong goal for the 23s was unreal. When Levitt picked the ball up and the way he used his body feint reminded me of watching Frankie de Jong. Do you think Levitt will get his chance before Christmas? Yeah, I do, because I think he's going to make his debut this weekend for Wales, and I think that's sort of going to kickstart maybe against Colchester or something like that in the Cup. Gareth 97, would I ever do a podcast with Patrick Van Straten from Football Daily? I feel like you're both very informed with your arguments and use actual stats to back them up. Personally, I'd enjoy it. Yeah, I would, yeah. Christian, the commentator tonight spoke about the Belgrade derby between Red Star and Partizan. It got me thinking, would that be a derby I'd like to do? Fuck, yes it would. Obviously, we're having a brand new baby. She has to take priority for travel and stuff like that, and I've already done Australia and Singapore this year, and I'm literally waiting to go to the airport in an hour to go to Bahrain. But I've had to be very fucking selective about the trips I've been able to choose. Next year, hopefully, I'll get more. Maybe the Bambino will come on some with us. Probably not Partizan and Red Star Derby, though, I reckon. And here we go. So I got this far last time. Actually, we literally got to this question in the last one and the fucking fire alarm went off. and we had to leave. Would I consider setting up a charity white-collar boxing/MMA event for any of the Patreons who want to settle disputes? I'd pay to watch. Could tie it into the 24-hour podcast. Just a thought. There's not a fucking prayer we could be able to rig that up in time for the 24-hour podcast, because that is in 11 days. No fucking way whatsoever can we do that in 11 days. However, I too like that. I too think that's fucking belting. And let me know if anyone is genuinely, seriously up for doing a little bit of white collar MMA. I don't know how I would matchmake it, but fuck me, that could be fun, couldn't it? Video Cosplay Gamer 907. Really impressed with Mayonnaise and Fred. Great to see all three strikers come scoring, and Mata looks sound in a 10. Did Romero even touch the ball? It was, and then we followed up this weekend against Brighton as well with the same sort of stuff. Eno Rant, any takeover talk? It's the hope that killed you. No, I don't think I'm going to be getting the word on that before it happens. I really don't. Dimitri, why don't I go to the away games? Right, I'll tell you why I don't go to away games. One, as I've just alluded to, having a young family. But the major reason that I don't go to away games is I don't get them. When I had the execs, because, I mean, they weren't even my execs. The company that I used to work for, Allied Scaffolding, had execs, and I used to apply on the execs, and you'd probably get about 6 or 7 a year. Usually get the Derby, which was a weird one, and quite often got Anfield. Never got a London one. I've never, still to this day, got a London one in my own name, legitimately. And I've done a few away. Fellaini used to be able to sort his away tickets out. I could probably actually get a couple of away tickets through Rashford if I really wanted it. But I know that there's quite a few that get them off him anyway. So the major reason is because if you don't get them in your name, the way that United's fucking steward and ticketing stuff works, it's mega oversubscribed. And loads of people go and do swapsies and this, that and the other. And because of the fucking touting problem on away tickets, United do a ID check all the fucking time. Now, I know that there'd be little jobs with fucking steward versions of mitts that'd be in there that'd fucking spot me, recognise me, probably don't fucking like me. And if I'm on a ticket that says Frank Gregson and it's not my name, you get banned from aways and homes. And I don't want to risk that. So, one's the fucking time away because of the baby. 2, it's the difficulty in getting hold of them. And 3, even if I went and, like, what I used to be able to get away with was gamble and travel. And when you're standing outside the ground, tickets come. Someone's not turned up. Someone had a spare with them all the way along. And you get one for face value outside the ground. But you don't know that they're doing ID checks until you get inside the ground. And then they're like, what's the name on that ticket? What's your name? Well, they don't add up. Unlucky. See you later. So, yeah, that's the reason. Ryan, all right, would you mind talking about the potential live podcast? Is it going to be a ticket-based system to get in? And if so, is it only one ticket per patron, as my dad would love to come? Also, will Hotel Football be available to watch the game? All sexy questions that I don't actually know the answer to yet. I got to speak to Webby and Hotel Football over the course of this week to get it all finalised and boxed off. It's probably going to be through Eventbrite, which will give you like an app on your phone with a QR code, and then we use an app on our phones, and we'll have a couple of people being able to scan them as you come in. At the moment, I would expect it. It might change because we might get X number and only X number apply, but there's quite a lot of you in Manchester, so I would expect it to be one per Patreon. If there's any extra, there will be extra, but it will be one per Patreon, I expect. And the plan is that, yes, it'll be on Derby Day and everyone can stick around in the supporters club and watch the Derby. That is the crack. If I was a Saudi prince that bought United, what's the first thing I would do? If I was a Saudi prince and bought United, what's the first thing I would do? I would get a car parking spot with my name on it right at the front of East End, or possibly even the Stretford End, actually. Yeah, get rid of Woodward. Where's the best section to get any insider news? It'd be in case you missed it, but because of the fucking leaks last week, all that sort of shit's up in the air while we figure out what the fuck to do. And again, it's one fucking person, I think, that's just fucked everyone, which is so fucking annoying, isn't it? It's so fucking annoying that one person has done that to everybody. We will box it off. We will get it right. We will have it back very soon. But obviously with the arrangements that's been needed to happen for us to travel tomorrow, 2 games, and everything else that's been going on, it takes a minute. And I've had a fucking 1,000 messages from different people as well saying what's going on with this. And there's also been a few people that got kicked from the Discord group. There was a little bit of collateral damage. If that's you, message me and we'll look into it and we'll get you back in as soon as possible. On a scale of very to extremely, how am I right in saying that The Office is... How right am I in saying that The Office is better than Phoenix Nights? Speaking of fucking people getting banned, there's another one to add to the fucking list. Are you mad? Phoenix Nights might be the best thing that's ever happened since the internet. Lee W. Angel's been named in the England under 20, so pretty obvious he's not injured. Looks like a standoff, like you said, in the updates on him. Nothing. Yeah, it probably is guarantees on minutes or even status, to be honest. I haven't spoke to his old man for a fucking long old time. I think that video that Angel posted of him training away from Carrington was in the summer. I don't think that was recently. And it's Jan Development that posted that. Who played for us in a 5-a-side tournament, actually. He was pretty decent. I reckon if he'd have been available for the final for us, we probably would have won that fucker. Or semi-final even. Fordy, I'm guessing that going by the comments about Angel, that he isn't the one who signed the new contract. No, it was Dylan Levitt. You reckon the same lineup this weekend with Brandon at left back and Matter in the 10 with Big Dave back? It was Pereira. I wanted it to be Matter, but it was Pereira. Did I see Scholes and Hargreaves both put Greenwood in their strongest United 11 after the Partizan match? Do I agree with them? And do I also agree with anyone who thinks lasagna... And do you also agree with anyone who thinks lasagna is shit as a fucking mong? No! Lasagna is shit. It's just bolognese with fucking playing cards in it, innit? It's fucking gash. I'm not sure Greenwood is necessarily in the best 11 just yet. I think the forward 3 that we had at weekend looked pretty tasty, didn't it? Does Rashford get in the England squad over Sancho? Probably not, to be honest, on current form. I don't know who the better player is at the moment. I fucking love them both at United, though. Legendary 628. My reaction to the KSI Logan Paul fight. If it's happened, or what your predictions and how this impacts combat sport. Will there be a Patreon live in London? London is probably doable, to be honest. If there's I don't know how many of you live in London, but it's probably doable. I could probably get Cheeky Sport Joel involved as well. My reaction to KSI Logan Paul, I haven't seen 1 second of the fight. I've seen a couple of the post-fight interviews. I didn't look out for them. I've just obviously just been online and you can't miss it, really, can you? I have no opinion on it apart from fair play to him. Ed. Oh, what? How this impacts on combat sport. Bellator have been going down this kind of celebrity fucking route for a while, and it's not necessarily working for them, I don't think. You've just got to make superstars, and for me the superstars are the ones who are the fucking absolute legit baddest people out there. Make them superstars. Patreon live in London. It's not on a schedule, but it's probably easier to fucking sort out than anywhere else, although I imagine a venue is going to kick our dick in, innit? How wrong is Jay about Pearl Harbor? Fucking proper wrong. Who do I think would win in a fight, Vidic or Keane? I reckon Vidic would have some steel jaw in him. He's got a jaw, hasn't he? I don't know. I think be a good old fucking tear up that, wouldn't it? I don't know. Can I put a Terry shirt on Cam and spank him hard? Can I share anything more on here as to why I think Marshall will leave in the summer? He seems happy and scoring goals, so do I think it's him that wants out or the club want to sell? It's just a fucking gut instinct. I haven't been told anything. It's just a pure gut instinct. What's my favourite place to steelax? My fucking sofa at home. Get my fucking feet up. Make sure I've got both remotes. Make sure I've got a fucking good drink. and fucking leave me alone for a few hours. I like that. Cash Money Dre says, on the next live watch along, you cunt should do a shot for every time Andreas takes a dig at goal when he should have passed. That's not really fair, is it? Be fucking dead by half time. In 15 years, when Ed's autobiography comes out, what period do I think will be the funniest to read back on, and which period do I think will be the most interesting? Him getting the job will be the most interesting. Or him organising the fucking finance for the Glazers might be the most interesting. What will be the funniest is him probably... There's probably going to be like, he had a conversation with Ronaldo about coming back and Ronaldo fucking hung up on him or something. Or he probably he probably rang up like Messi's agent, didn't he? And he was like, got 2 words for you, mate. Manchester United. And he was like, yeah, sound. I'm not basing it on anything. I just think it's probably something like that probably fucking happened. Do I think Dean Henderson will one day be United's number 1? No. City in 4th at the moment. If they somehow finish outside of the top 4, do I think they'll have the gall to sack the bald cunt? Yes. Ronan Earls, would I suck a dick if it guaranteed Liverpool wouldn't win the league? Fuck's sake, no. Might lick one though. Crafty Badger, did Pereira's goal qualify under the nightmare scenario described before the game? Oh no, I said tonight he's going to fucking score a worldie and think it justifies everything he does. I thought he was greedy in that attack and should have passed it. He absolutely should have. Yeah. What's the issue with Greenwood? A few press are saying that is an attitude issue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any attitude issue. I think he's a very fucking young player. And I think Solskjaer mentioned, didn't he, that he's got ups and downs in training, probably just performance levels. You're also going through weird growing phases at this age as well, and when you grow, your touch literally fucking changes, so there could be all sorts of things going on. Am I hearing anything about Braut Haaland? I heard it's reported in the Italian press that Juventus are interested but weren't going to seriously pursue because United were very close to getting him due to his previous links with Ole. Nah, I have no idea. Could I see Maguire's lack of agility and pace being an issue against pacey front lines if we decided to press high? Could that be why we didn't go all out against teams in a low block, besides not having many playmakers in fear that we get caught on the break? Not necessarily, no, because I think that he drops off. He definitely does drop off to protect himself for the lack of pace. I don't think he's super slow. He's just not blistering, isn't he? I mean, like someone like Mbappe is going to have him on toast. But the fullbacks are quick, and that's the job of the fullback. If they're not too far up, that's why you asymmetric it with your fullbacks. One stays, one goes, and then you've got the cover then if you need to. Is Dan James starting making a case for the board and all to forget about the Sancho lad? It might be 100 million, yeah. He might well be. Righty, thank you guys for tuning in. That is the last one for this week. We'll probably do another one while we're out there because this was obviously meant to have gone up on Friday, not fucking right now. There is a comments club sort of coming out on, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday or something, whenever we get the fucking opportunity to film it and do it out there. But again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. Let people know in the comments on YouTube if you're happy with Patreon. If you're not happy with Patreon, I don't mind. Let's be honest about this shit. Go and tell people, and let's see if we can get to that next target and start getting the Dublin one booked. I think we'll get there, and I'm really excited to take this shit on the road. I think it'll be fucking good. But I'll see you in the next one. Laters.